You know, Hell in a Cell went off the air about an hour or so, give or take a few minutes. And besides watching the end of the Cowboys and the Eagles game, I've been trying to wrap my head around this pay per view. Anyone that knows me or is familiar with my channel knows I try hard not to be negative. And if anything really angers me, I try to wait until I've cooled off to review the pay per view because my Royal Rumble 2015 review is probably something I should always cool down before I review a pay per view. Uh, but I'm gonna be completely honest. I didn't really like the pay per view. I'm not trying to hate on Raw because I didn't really like Clash of Champions either. But just I guess it's just best to start off with the opening match, which was Roman and Rusev. Um, I honestly didn't like the match. Minus, I'll be honest, the last few minutes of the match were actually pretty good. The last few minutes of the match were actually, pretty good. It was hard hitting, but the first first 5th, however long the match was, the first few minutes were really slow and sluggish. And while they did bring in some weapons, um, and they did bring in weapons, but they didn't have the impact WWE would have liked. Um, they didn't really have the impact that WWE would have probably liked for you to have. I'm not even gonna talk about the fan reception of Roman Reigns because that's just being a dead horse. We know Reigns isn't getting over as a babyface, and I don't hate Roman Reigns or even dislike Roman Reigns, but I'm not gonna act like I'm a fan of him. I admit he's a good wrestler, and granted his mic skills aren't very good, but it's not completely his fault. Maybe you can blame it on the poor storyline leading up to this match, um, or this not being nearly as violent as most Hell in a Cell matches are. But I didn't like this match that much. I think Reigns will be better off moving on to someone else because this rivalry never fully clicked. As seen in both my SummerSlam prediction video, Clash of Champions prediction video, and Hell in a Cell prediction video, I was never looking forward to any of the matches they had for different reasons. And I think one thing I will say is that the match, once again, it got better toward the end. The match was a full 24 minutes, and I think I only like the last 12 to 10 minutes, so the second half of the match. Rusev introduced a chain, uh, and he was hitting Roman Reigns with it. He tied him up in the ropes and hit him with a kendo stick, I believe, while he was tied in the ropes. He put him in the accolade using the chain, and had him on the steps, which brings the same question: how in the world is doing the accolade on the steps hurt more? I don't understand how that hurts more. Roman reversed it into a Samoan drop on the steel steps, and then kind of ran up the steps and speared Rusev off the steps for the 3 count. The match definitely picked up toward the end, but I did not really like it that much. I'll give it a C plus because from what was good, I think it was good enough to give it a C plus. And this actually, according to Wikipedia, the longest match of the night, meaning the other 2 Hell in a Cell matches were not as long. But I'll get to those matches later. Next up was Bayley versus Dana Brooke. I love Bayley, and I think she's a great wrestler. Dana Brooke, I've never thought was a good wrestler. And besides her working on Bayley's injured shoulder for most of the match, I couldn't really give you much I remember from it besides Bayley her comeback. But other than that, Bayley's comeback and Dana working her arm, nothing came up. There was nothing about this match that was good. I will say that the match did what it was supposed to do. It told a clear story. I wasn't really engaged in it, but it felt more like a Raw match than a pay-per-view match. Bayley needs something bigger. Maybe a feud with who the next women's champion is, and if you don't know, I'm not going to spoil who won the match until I get there. Or get in a feud with Nia Jax or something, because she's like the female Sami Zayn. I think she has massive potential, just like Sami, and they're not really doing much with her. I'm going to give that match a C. Nothing was good about it, but it did what it's supposed to do. It did what it's supposed to do. Next up, Enzo and Cass versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Enzo and Cass started off trashing and Gallows Nancy on the mic. None of that jokes really hit home for me except for when Enzo told Anderson, "I've been with bigger women than you," which it was funny. It was actually kind of funny. It made me chuckle. Uh, it did make me chuckle. And I do remember one other line when Enzo said that they're gonna have to call you Andy. That he started calling Anderson Andy, and said that they'd be calling Big Cass Woody because he's gonna have Andy on the bottom of his boot. Toy Story reference. I didn't really care for that. The match was all right, nothing special. Enzo started off and hoped to continue the momentum. Cass clubbed Anderson in the corner. Enzo continued the momentum. Cass threw Enzo on top of Anderson and Gallows on the outside, which led to Gray saying, "That's why it's great having a friend as annoying as Enzo, because you always pick him up and throw him," something like that. After Cass got the hot tag and just went on just slaughtered everyone. Gallows and Anderson still double teamed the baby faces and ended by pinning Enzo with the Magic Killer. Once again, the pre-match promo showcased the electricity of a really good connection with Enzo and Cass in the crowd. The bout was solid. It felt like a classic tag team match. Baby faces started off good, then the heels take over. Baby faces going on a run, but the heels somehow, the heels still win. Good thing, as much as I love Enzo and Cass, Gallows and Anderson needed this much more than Enzo and Cass, because, like I said before, WWE pretty much killed them at Clash Champions against the New Day, so they might as well win over here, because them losing would not have hurt Enzo and Cass, because they're the most over tag team in WWE, and Gallows and Anderson need to win. Now we finally get to pick something. Now the pay-per-view finally started to pick up, with some people saying their favorite match of the night, Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins inside Hell in a Cell for the Universal title. I can't match my expectations because these are probably my two favorite male wrestlers on Raw, and of course it did not disappoint me. It was a straight slugfest. Owens tried at times different times to grab weapons from under the ring, but Seth stopped him. And they were just slugging back and forth, back and forth. Kevin worked on Seth's injured back, and literally the protective tape ripped it off. He had his face against the cell, and he was ripping the tape off his back. That was a pretty cool spot. One spot that was probably my favorite. It was a cool sequence. Kevin went for the pop-up powerbomb. Seth cleared over him. Went for the pedigree. Kevin flipped him. Trying to go for a back body drop reversal. Seth landed on his feet, went for a kick. Kevin ducked, tried to roll Seth up. Seth rolled through it, hit a kick of his own. Kevin somehow got up, hit a super kick. Seth hit an enziguri, and then Kevin hit a clothesline. That sequence was perfectly executed. It was definitely one of my favorite highlights of the match. Kevin then, I don't know if he did it intentionally or what, but sprayed fire extinguisher into the referee's face, which caused another referee to open the cage door, and Jericho came in. This is when it pretty much became a handicap match. But before I get to that, another spot, which is for some people the spot of the match, Kevin set up two tables, one on the outside and one was leaning on the apron in the cell. And basically, Seth reversed it and powerbombed. Kevin was trying to block with his foot, but powerbombed Kevin out of the ring through both tables. That was a great spot. Seth tried to fight off Jericho. He hit him with the he did a running powerbomb into the cell, but after a while, Jericho, the number one game just cut to Seth. Jericho and Owens pretty much beat him down with chairs, and Kevin hit a powerbomb on two chairs, standing up. Now, for this match, I want you to say one thing. Don't tell me superstars can't produce a great Hell in a Cell match in the PG era. This match told a great story. The champ cheating his way to victory, and a challenger valiantly fighting back, but fell short. This is the type of babyface Seth Rollins need. We need from Seth Rollins. I love Seth Rollins, but as babyface, this is the Seth Rollins I want. Heart on the mat, leaving everything out there. Now, this match, Now, I think this match actually worked better with the cell, unlike the first match did. And this match, I think, helped erase what was a feud that was uneven and at times underwhelming. WWE creative has got to keep up the momentum between the three guys because I don't think Rollins and Owens should have another match. I know Survivor Series next and they'll all probably be on a Team Raw, but I think Rollins should go out to Jericho and Owens should face a new challenger. But really, the only people I can really think of is either Roman Reigns, who's the U.S. champion, and Sami Zayn. And Sami just got off a feud with Kevin not too long ago, and Sami's feud with Braun Strowman. So I don't know if they're going to get the challenge Kevin next unless he gets Cesaro or something, which would be good. But I'll just wait till I get that to Cesaro later. I had to give Kevin and Seth an A minus. That match was good. The only reason I'm taking it down from an A is because I think Jericho got involved too much, and that hurt the match. Next up was T.J. Perkins versus Brian Kendrick for the Cruiserweight Championship. I guess now is as good a time as ever to talk about the crowd. The crowd for this pay-per-view, minus probably the Hell in a Cell matches, and maybe the tag team title match was dead for a lot of the matches. And I think that really hurts it because when the crowd's not really engaged, I can't really get engaged myself. And this match was true to form. It wasn't nothing bad really happened in this match, but it wasn't really good. Perkins delivered a really good drop kick to the back of Kendrick's head. Kendrick drop kick Perkins in the midair. Kendrick one time tied up TJ on a ropes through his tape on his hand, which really looked more like TJ was just holding on to the ropes. TJ fought back and hit a halo from the apron on Kendrick. And I remember at one point a fan yelled at Kendrick to get a haircut with some language I can't really repeat. The crowd reaction didn't do this match any favor, you ask me. The quiet crowd really hurt the two cruiserweights who really had good chemistry, and it wasn't that bad of a match. I do love the story. The desperate man cheating to reclaim glory was I liked it. Kendrick went for sliced bread and TJ reversed it, and Kendrick came down funny on his knee. And the referee was checking Kendrick, and TJ walked up to him, and Kendrick headbutted him and hit him with a headbutt and put him back into the what's it called, the bully lock and TJ tapped out. I think Kendrick win. It makes sense because TJ's reign was not very good. It was really poor, and I think with Kendrick being at the helm of the division, it can help the young stars. Improve because they'll be learning from a veteran. I gave the match a B minus. It was all right. It was good, but it wasn't anything special. I'm still waiting for the cruiserweights to really wow me. Because besides the Cruiserweight Classic, which which was great, I'm waiting for something on Raw or a pay-per-view to really wow me. I didn't watch the pre-show 6-man tag, so please don't bring that up. Next up, we got The New Day, Xavier Woods and Big E versus Sheamus and Cesaro. I don't know if it's just me, but I really did like this match. Where do I begin? There was a lot of good things that happened, a lot of near falls, and they really made me believe Sheamus and Cesaro were gonna win. Now the challengers took control early on, beating on Woods because Woods is usually the one that always gets the beating. Big E came, but after that, Big E came in, hit his suplexes, but Sheamus and Cesaro recovered, and they really do have good team. They're really good at teamwork and really have good chemistry. If they can just get along, they'd be a really good team. Sheamus, then basically Cesaro had Xavier in hit him with the what's wrong with me? You can tell I am completely out of it because I can't remember the name of his Cesaro's move. You know what it is. The spin. He started doing a spin on Xavier and put him in a sharpshooter, but Big E stopped it. Sheamus then tried to hit a bro kick on Xavier, but he accidentally hit Cesaro. Big E then tackled Sheamus out. Xavier crawled back in the ring and got his shoulder on Cesaro. I'm like, oh my goodness, here it is. 1, 2. Somehow Sheamus got it and broke it up, which was a legitimate shot because I thought it was over right there. After that, Xavier tried to go for the Shining Wizard, but Cesaro counted it on the ground and put him back in the sharpshooter and had him locked in. And I really thought for a second, oh my goodness, Sheamus and Cesaro are actually going to win the titles. Biggie, while the referee was looking at Xavier, Biggie tried to climb back in the ring, but as he was on the apron, Sheamus smacked him with Francesca too. And basically, Kofi hit the brogue kick on Sheamus on the outside, and because he wasn't technically in the match, that caused disqualification. What the referee didn't see was Xavier Woods tapping out, which means Sheamus is on one by disqualification, and New Day is still the champs. I really want Sheamus and Cesaro to win. WWE did a good job teasing Sheamus and Cesaro winning a few times, and it really did look like they would either win or implode, and neither one happened. But my problem is this match did not have a decisive finish that I like on pay-per-view. But it was energy filled, fast, it was well paced, and WWE did leave the door open for the chance to get another shot before they start tearing each other apart, because they really did have this win. They had it won. New Day, meanwhile, looks like they're gonna do it. They're gonna surpass Demolition, because the next pay-per-view is Survivor Series, and it's a good chance New Day will be in the tag team match, the tag team elimination match with the tag teams. So they won't be defending Survivor Series. They'll likely pass Demolition, and after that, they can drop the titles to Cesaro and Sheamus, or the club. Not gonna happen. Or his own cast. One of the three works for me. I really wish Sheamus and Cesaro had won here, because even though I picked Even though I picked New Day, me and Kyrie both picked New Day, I honestly wanted Cesaro and Sheamus to win. And technically they won the match, but still, I wanted them to win the titles. It was a good match. I'm gonna give it a B plus. I really did like it. Now we get on to the main event. The other two Hell in a Cell matches I'm not counting. The main event, the last match. Sasha Banks versus Charlotte inside Hell in a Cell for Women's Championship. This match had the big fight feel just from the entrance alone. Charlotte coming down with entrance befitting a queen, as four men carried her to the ring on a I don't know how to pronounce that word. Palanquin? Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it. And the beauty of it is, just like the Macho King Randy Savage, I'm not going to bring up King Mabel, the Macho King Randy Savage used to do, that Sasha came out and rode on top of an Escalade surrounded by security guards. If you saw NXT TakeOver Brooklyn last year, it was basically that entrance. Once again, great. And Sasha, coming out to our hometown crowd, got a huge reaction. As the Hell in a Cell started to descend, I just love how they zoomed in on Sasha's and Charlotte's faces. They looked scared, like, oh my god, this is it. And as the cell was ascending, Charlotte ambushed Sasha, and basically Sasha was under the cell, and the cell's lowering paws. And Sasha and Charlotte started beating each other outside, and they went into the crowd. Charlotte scaled the cage, and Sasha fouled. I'm like, oh my gosh, don't tell me she's really gonna go. They're really gonna go to the top. Sasha then fell off, they didn't fall, but she kind of dropped from the side, and Sasha was still on the side of the cell, and Charlotte grabbed her and gave her a power bomb through the announcer's table, and that left Sasha struggling to stand up. Looked like she injured her back storyline wise. Medical staff tried to take Sasha out of the arena, which apparently for professional EMTs, they didn't know that when you wrap around a neck brace, make sure the actual wires are not in the neck brace with it, because it actually started to choke Sasha. Sasha got off the gurney, and she and Charlotte began to fight again. And there were a lot of good spots in this match. Sasha came back, she chopped Charlotte in the chest. Memorable spots. What should I name? The fact that Charlotte tried to launch Sasha onto the cell. Sasha jumped off and did the double knees. That was a cool spot. Then she started kneeing Charlotte into the cell. They brought in a steel chair. Sasha rammed Charlotte's face, like the chair was set up, and Sasha rammed Charlotte's face into the chair. As she rammed her face into the chair, and then she tried to go for a head scissors, and Charlotte reversed it and slammed her back onto the chair, which looked painful. Charlotte. Now here's one. Now I do have some nitpicks. Tables. While the first table spot outside of the cell was good and it done well, there were two other table spots that I think that didn't happen the way it should have. First off, Charlotte set up a table on the outside, and she tried to do a superplex to Sasha, and Sasha kicked her off. And Charlotte looked like she fell. She fell, but she fell onto the table. And the table didn't break. It just kind of collapsed and fell, which the crowd didn't really like, and neither did I. Later on, I think Sasha brought another table, and Charlotte tried to lay her on top of it and go for a moonsault, but Sasha reversed it. And then Charlotte put her in a bank statement, but Sasha, knowing where she was, grabbed a steel chair and hit Charlotte into the hit Charlotte in the hip with the chair to break out of the figure eight. Sasha didn't look like she was trying to powerbomb Charlotte through the table, but her back gave out on her. And Charlotte then threw. I think this is another table spot that didn't end the way it was supposed to. Charlotte threw Sasha into the table twice, and it didn't break. And then she hit the next selection for the 3 count. You know, I wasn't as angry as I was when Charlotte beat Sasha at SummerSlam, but that just begs the question again: why did you have Charlotte win? Sasha deserved more than a 3-week title reign again, and hopefully, I really want the feud to end here. Maybe let Charlotte move on to a feud with Bayley and Sasha a feud with Nia Jax, because I'm just curious to why Charlotte had to win this one. And the ending just happened unnatural, like out of nowhere. Like that wasn't the ending that was meant to happen, but that's what they went with. And I'm the only one that says that too. Everyone has said that the ending was not very good. It just came out, and other than the ending in those 2 table spots, I thought this match was savage, dramatic, really good. It was 2 great wrestlers really out there trying to kill each other. Charlotte is a really good heel, and Sasha is great as usual. And the expectations for them were almost impossibly high for this match, and they met them. They met the expectations. Sasha and Charlotte made it clear that women are more than welcome inside Hell in a Cell, and that the women's revolution is just a tagline. It's reality unfolding for us. And once again, I'm going to give this match an A minus. Once again, a few sloppy spots, and the ending just happened out of nowhere. Stopped from becoming an A. But this was my favorite match of the night. Kevin and Seth was good too, but I like this one just a little bit better. Am I being biased? Possibly. Do I care? No. I just prefer this match to every other match on the card. If you didn't like it, well, you didn't like it. That's not gonna change what I think. Okay, as usual, let's go through it, and let's see what I'm gonna get this final pay-per-view. Roman and Rusev got a C+. Bayley and Dana got a C. Enzo and Cass versus Gallows and Anderson got a C+. Rollins and Owens got an A-. Perkins and Kendrick got a B-. Cesaro and Sheamus versus New Day got a B+, and Sasha and Charlotte got an A-. So that all rounds up to about a B. Now, even though I'm giving this pay-per-view a B, I can't say I really enjoyed it. I personally only liked 3 matches, but I still do think that, Kendrick and Perkins were still good enough to get a B-. And Reigns and Rusev had a good second half. So next time you see me, I don't really know. I really can't answer that question. But until next time, my name is Kyron Chase, and I will see you guys later.